Hi everyone, and welcome back to Purposed to Love. My name is Randy, and today I want to take a moment to talk about a podcast I recently listened to about internet safety and what we can do to support our students and our children who are using the internet a lot now, especially with online learning and with the added use of their screen time that they typically use. So I thought it'd be interesting to share with you all, and I hope it's helpful. So let's get started. So the podcast that I was listening to is called Teaching Autism in Special Education, and the host, her name is Nikki, and she had a guest on, and her name was Lisa Honold, and Lisa has a business called Center for Online Safety, and she really goes around just teaching, students about their online presence and how to stay safe and ways they can think more critically about how much technology they're using and what they're using it for. Their conversation was really good. I thought it was very enlightening in some cases because I didn't think about certain things. So when you get a chance, please go and check out the podcast. I thought it was really interesting. I believe that you can find Nikki's podcast on pretty much most podcast platforms. I use Podbean, so whatever works for you. But it was really good, and she has a lot of other great content on there. I don't know her or anything, so this is not like a promotion or anything, but I just find her content to be interesting. So check it out when you have a chance. So one of the first things that Lisa talks about in regards to screen time, she said it wasn't really so much focusing on technology itself, but really just kind of getting everyone on the same page. And so she talked about having a family meeting, bringing everyone together, a very short one. She said she has children herself, and so she has her own business, and so she's very busy. So she talked about it from her perspective of making sure that what she was doing was quick and efficient for anyone, any busy parents or staff who really don't have the time to sit down and have long, lengthy interactions in the morning, but just something short and engaging to kind of get everyone on the same page. So her check-ins consisted of having a word for a day, getting everyone to kind of like open up their minds and kind of, getting their communication going. So she talked about how she would either offer up a word for them, like they could draw a card, the card she would write out beforehand. It might have words like kindness or silly or whatever, and then they would talk about that word and how it would apply for their day. So the second point that Lisa made was in regards to scheduling, making schedules. And she was coming again from a perspective of being a busy mom and having many kids, and so just having to figure out what everyone's plans were for the day. She talked about how she even, made a way to make it very simple and easy schedule, nothing fancy or cute and pretty, just a whiteboard with people's names on them and what everyone was doing for the day, just so they could all be on the same page, and how that could even help and aid with screen time and sharing the bandwidth, for the home, just in how if she's working and they want to play on their tablets or anything like that, how that could take away from the bandwidth that she might need for her work, or her meetings or whatever. And I thought that was interesting. She talked about different activities that students or her children or other children could do that were offline activities, and I'll make sure to leave a list of those in the description section. Of course, you can add to them, and if you have any other ideas, you can leave a comment below, something that's independent, obviously, for the individual or for the student or for the child. So the third point that she made in regards to checking in with each other was, sitting with everyone and saying, well, how can you help me? Like, how can I help you? Like, just seeing where each other can help one another, and just talked about the importance of giving everyone the responsibility of caring for the other person or the other people in the home, so she mentioned, if I'm in a meeting, can you do something quiet? Can you help with cleaning? Can you do this while you're doing that? Just, giving everyone a responsibility to care about the other people who are in the home. And again, this is really kind of focusing on, the fact that everyone's home now, for the most part, and they all have to kind of take time to find ways to support one another in the home and do things that are going to benefit everyone. So in regards to screen time, Nikki and Lisa were talking about some really interesting things, and Lisa gave up some things to keep in mind when considering when screen time becomes too much for the student or for your child. She offered up things to think about, such as, are they using it for something creative? Are they, creating their own, content, maybe for YouTube or social media that's appropriate? Are they using it to learn coding? Are they learning new skills? Are they using technology or their screen time for connecting with peers, with friends? And we want them to still have that social interaction and communication. That's important, right? Especially if they're right now maybe full-time students who are doing online learning or whatever. We still want them to find time to engage with peers and friends, or maybe they're using it for augmentative communication, where the student might use or the child might use their device or technology to speak or to communicate. Of course, then they can use it as much as they want. But then what seems to be the issue is more of the passive use of technology and screen time, when they're just scrolling through Facebook or Instagram or using TikTok, or just watching it rather, too much. When does it become too much? And so it's just kind of identifying what that limit is, obviously, for your home, for your setting, whether it's residential or your classroom time online or whatever it is. So I think that's kind of maybe up to the family or the teacher or the staff. And I just want to throw this out there that sometimes you just need a break. As a parent, as a teacher, as a staff, you may really just need them to be on the, technology or screen time or whatever for a little bit longer than, was to be expected, just in order to get something else accomplished, to take a break so that they can take a break, So don't beat yourself up if they might be online or using screen time a little bit longer than you would have preferred. So in regards to internet safety, Lisa did mention a couple apps that she uses that are US-based apps. The first one is called Circle, and the second one is called Bark, and I'll leave a link for those two below. So here are my notes from when I was listening to the podcast, and they were talking more in depth about online safety. They just mentioned certain things about, especially for parents, trying to monitor your tone, especially if you see your child is engaging in a website or with people that are inappropriate, trying not to come off as angry or judgmental, but just trying to give them the facts, help them to understand why this is unsafe or inappropriate. And then also they talked about, ask your child clarifying questions. As the parent, you can be confident and, talk to them, ask them who they are talking to, ask who they're following on social media, and ask them why they like a particular person, why they like following them. You want to try to understand your child's behavior and understand what their interests are, of course, but we also know that we have to find ways to set boundaries as well. So again, just wanting to encourage and empower parents to have those hard conversations about cyberbullies and sexual predators, and, encouraging and teaching your children about, self-esteem, and really working on any insecurity issues, so that when they see someone who is presenting themselves as perfect or something that they're not easily persuaded by them. And again, Lisa has information on her website. The link will be posted in the description section below. Different ways for parents and teachers, whoever, who want to find ways to discuss these challenging topics. So she has more information there. So here are some notes from a conversation I had with one of my friends and how she interacts or how she teaches her son online safety and etiquette and things like that. So her son does online school, and she said just to go ahead and protect his eyes and prevent any possible headaches, she went ahead and got him blue light glasses. And so she said she'll let me know if that actually works. But then she also explained to me that he plays an online game called Minecraft, and it's a great game where you are creating things and doing things and building, and it can be engaging and educational, but there are other players who are different ages. So she has to really monitor the conversations and teach him online texting etiquette, teaching him how to limit what he's sharing with other people online about himself. Also, teaching him the difference between online friends versus real friends. So there are real conversations that she actually has to sit and have with her son about these different things. And she also talks about different strategies on how to engage and handle conflict between players. So for my final thoughts, I just want to say that everything I've mentioned in this video thus far really can apply to all students and all individuals with regardless of their abilities or disabilities. But it is really important that we take the time to teach our students and our children or individuals who have developmental disabilities or any disability really to just learn how to use technology in a healthy way, in a productive way, because that's the way the world is moving. Using more technology for communication, for work, for engaging in building and making friends and or online friends. So it's just important that we teach them how to do this. And the best way to teach them is to model how to use technology and social media in a healthy, productive way. Okay, everyone, that is all I have for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions or comments on this topic of internet safety or screen time, please leave a comment below, or you can just send me an email, and the email is in the description portion of this video. Again, I appreciate your time. You are doing great work, and just remember you are purpose to love. All right, I'll see you guys next week. Bye.